So let's talk about the huge day that Barcelona have had today. In this video, we are going to be talking about Jonathan Tah, a player who is a center back that has been linked to Barcelona to reinforce the defensive line because there is a chance that Eric Garcia could leave this summer. Later in the video, we're also going to be talking about Dani Olmo getting registered in La Liga, and now he is going to be open to play in the match against Rayo Vallecano. We're also going to be explaining what happened to Federico Chiesa and whether he could be joining FC Barcelona, and then lastly talk about the details regarding Nike and FC Barcelona. There is plenty to discuss for today's video. Everything is going to be organized on the timeline down below. I hope you guys do enjoy this one, and so let's get straight to it. It says here according to 4 different sources, right? We do have 4. As a matter of fact, we're going to add in 5. So 5 different sources claiming the exact same story, which is Sky Sport have claimed Barcelona are exploring a deal for Jonathan Tah, with initial talks have already taken place. Tony Juan Martí has claimed Barcelona is considering the defender Jonathan Tah in case Eric Garcia does leave. And then we also do have Jared Romero claiming Flick personally asked Pinizavi if he can make possible the Jonathan Tah operation. Everything will depend on the financial situation. Then we do have sources coming from Germany, who is Florian Plettenberg, that has claimed Barcelona are now exploring the deal to sign Jonathan Tah until deadline day, with first talks have taken place for the 28-year-old German center back because currently he is not willing to extend his contract beyond 2025 with Bayer Leverkusen. As for Bayern Munich, the deal is not 100% off. And then we finally do have Helena Condis claiming this afternoon Eric Garcia's agent Ivan de la Peña was at Barcelona in case Eric Garcia ends up being transferred to Girona completely. Jonathan Tah is a possible name on the table. So let me give you guys some context so you guys can know what led up to this moment. Jonathan Tah has been a long-term player for Bayer Leverkusen. He has been with Bayer Leverkusen since 2015, so it has been 9 total years, and he has definitely taken on the leadership role because currently he is one of the captains for Bayer Leverkusen. And throughout the past year, Bayern Munich have always been interested in Tah, and Tah has always been keen on a move to Bayern Munich. But recently, in this past summer, Bayer Leverkusen had a stance and they said, we don't really plan on selling Tah. Even Xabi Alonso wants to keep the center back. They do trust in him and they do believe that he is a great leader for the club. But if he does leave, he cannot leave for no more than 25 million euros. There has been some reports claiming that it can't be no more than 40 million euros, but the general idea is that Bayer Leverkusen do not want to sell him for no more than 20 to 25 million euros. And here's the thing, right? Bayern Munich a couple of months ago have already made a bid for Jonathan Tah, which was around 17 million euros, and that was an offer that Bayer Leverkusen did deny. And they said, we want more than that, meaning that if Barcelona were to come into the picture and make a official bid for Tah, it would have to be more than 17.5, because if that offer got rejected by Bayern, they're literally asking for more, and it's going to have to be 20 to 25 million euros. Now, once again, going back to the Eric Garcia situation, Eric Garcia may stay at Barcelona with limited playing time or rejoin Girona and be a key player. This is the reason why Eric Garcia is thinking about leaving the club, because he wants to have more prominence. He wants to have more minutes, and I understand why. I understand why Eric Garcia would want to leave. I mean, like, look at how we have been using Eric Garcia in the past 2 games. He has been playing as a central defensive midfielder. Hansi Flick not once has even thought about using Eric Garcia as a center back in that defensive line, and maybe Eric Garcia does not see himself as a pivot. Maybe he wants to have prominence and play as a center back full time. So while yes, we have heard reports and Hansi Flick claiming that he does trust in Eric Garcia, does Eric Garcia want to stay at Barcelona himself? Maybe he sees his future at Girona and not at the club, and that is why Barcelona have identified as Tah as an alternative to Eric Garcia if he does end up leaving. So yes, this situation does present Barcelona with an opportunity to sign a quality defender at a very low cost. 20 million euros for somebody who is 28 years old and is at the prime of his career, having one of the best seasons of his life with Bayer Leverkusen. Yes, this is a cheap price. Tah's physical presence and ability to win aerial duels are one of the qualities that Barcelona do want in their defense. They know that they do lack in that in some capacity, or they want to get better in aerial duels, and one of the ways that they want to do that is by incorporating someone like Tah. So at the moment, Bayern Munich have already been rejected. There has been some sources claiming that Bayern Munich is fine, that with De Ligt leaving to Manchester United, they are okay, right? This is like some reports claiming that Bayern Munich are okay. They're not even bothered about Tah rejecting them because they have Upamecano, they have Kim, they have Eric Dier, they have Ito, and some other couple of center backs. They have like a total of 5, I believe, which is the reason why Bayern Munich are not going on full force for Jonathan Tah, and that is why Barcelona do seem like a very viable option. Now, can Barcelona make it happen? Can they bid for more than 18 million euros and get him at a good price? And this is what's going to lead me towards the next conversation, right? Because let's go into further depth on how Tah, if he were to come to Barcelona, could help this club sportingly. So first of all, he does earn 2.8 million euros a season with Bayer Leverkusen. That's very cheap. I think that Barcelona can offer him maybe 6 million euros a season if he does want that upgrade. His contract does end on June 30th, 2025. This is the reason why his fee is so cheap. Now, sportingly, right, let's talk about his level. In the 2023-2024 season, in terms of the pass completion rate, he was ranked in number 1 in his league, in the German league, which is crazy, with a total of 94.4%. And he was ranked in 3rd within the top 5 leagues when it comes to the pass completion rate. So he's very reliable on the ball. Now, what gets very interesting, right, is that Barcelona, yes, do want a center back that is very good on the ball, but they especially do want somebody that's good in aerial duels. And when it comes to aerial duels, Jonathan Tah is somebody that you can bet on, because in terms of him winning those aerial duels, whether they are offensive or defensive, his aerial duel percentage is 73.8%, making him the 2nd best aerial duel winner in the league. This is the reason why Bayer Leverkusen were ranked in 2nd place when it comes to aerial duels 1, and just below Bayern Munich. It is because Tah was a master in aerial duels. He did upgrade Leverkusen, and that was one of the factors on why Leverkusen won so many things last season. Now, let's look at the perspective of Barcelona and what Barcelona are missing. As you can see here, in terms of aerial duels 1, Barcelona is not one of the best. Barcelona do rank at like the bottom 6 or bottom 5 with a total of 46.8%. That number can be improved. And one of the best teams in La Liga when it comes to aerial duels, it is Valencia, it is Las Palmas, it is Rayo Vallecano, it is Granada. Now, you may argue the reason why Barcelona and Real Madrid and other teams like that are at the bottom is because they barely do have to encounter aerial duels because they are so dominant on the ball. And yes, that could be one of the reasons why, but just overall, the number is the number, right? If you win 46.8% of the time in terms of aerial duels, then you win 46.8% of the time, regardless of how many times you do have to go through that during a game. Barcelona do need an upgrade on that to increase their winning percentage, because if we look at their players, right, where Barcelona center backs do rank in terms of aerial percentage and their winning rate, you can see that Barcelona do have 2 players, which is Ronald Araujo and Christensen, with a total of 73.2% for Araujo and 71.1% for Andreas Christensen. They have great rates, but here's the thing. These 2 players are sometimes not available. Like at the moment that I am recording this video, Christensen and Araujo are not there, and we need players. We need center backs right now that can win in aerial duels. Barcelona do not have that, and so bringing in someone like Tah gives us more depth and gives us more solutions in the air. Having a player like Eric Garcia, we already have that type of profile. We have Kubarsi, we have Koundé, we have, of course, Andreas Christensen, who can do it all. We have Inigo Martinez, we have great ball carriers, ball distributors, but we do need more players who are physically better in the air. Tah is the solution, and that is why Hansi Flick is interested in him. So I hope this did help you guys to understand why Barcelona are interested in Jonathan Tah. I don't know when Barcelona can make a bid. I don't know how serious this is, but for sure it will get serious if Eric Garcia does leave to Girona for a specific fee. So now let's move on towards the big news, and let's speak about Dani Olmo. According to Roger Torreo, that Barcelona registers Dani Olmo. La Liga gave the green light, and he will play against Rayo Vallecano tomorrow. Okay, so first of all, I do want to say this. I think that this will be the starting 11 with Dani Olmo included against Rayo Vallecano. I do see Lewandowski as the striker, Lamine Yamal on the right wing position, Rafinha as the 10, and Dani Olmo on the left wing position, with our double pivot being Bernal, Pedri, and then our defensive line being Koundé, Kubarsi, Inigo Martinez, and Alejandro Balde. I know that many of you guys have been saying that, you know, why would you put Olmo as a left winger and Rafinha as a central attacking midfielder, right, as a 10? It really doesn't matter. I have said this multiple times on X that this whole thing about these players taking on this specific role, it's irrelevant under Hansi Flick's Barcelona, because when you are so dynamic, so fluid, when you have the versatility of Rafinha and Dani Olmo that can play in multiple positions, Rafinha and Olmo are going to be exchanging roles through the game. Sometimes we are going to be seeing Rafinha on the left, sometimes we are going to be seeing Olmo in the center. They're going to keep the opposition guessing, and that's beautiful. It makes Barcelona much more dangerous on the pitch. I cannot wait to see that. Now, many of you guys have been asking, how did Barcelona manage to register Dani Olmo? And so, just to give you guys a brief explanation, it does have to do with Christensen being injured for more than 3 to 4 months. And so it does stay here. If Christensen is declared fit before December as expected, he will be able to play alongside Dani Olmo. However, it's crucial for Barcelona to return to the 1-1 rule during these 4 months. If they don't, Olmo wouldn't be able to be registered again after January. So yes, it is because the fact that Christensen got injured and he's going to be out for a very long time. La Liga is allowed to say, hey, look, Barcelona, no worries. You guys have lost a player for a long time. You guys can just cancel his wages on the wage books and fit in Dani Olmo, no problem. So if you think about it, right, Barcelona have dropped 9 million euros on the wage bill because of Christensen's absence. Now we're only able to use, I think, 80 to 90% of his wages for the incorporation of a new player. So we're going to be able to use 7.2 million euros of that 9 million and use that for Dani Olmo, who is going to be getting paid 9.3 million euros. Barcelona is going to be able to cover that margin between 7.2 and 9.3. Now I know that this does sound very familiar. We have have encountered the exact same situation between Gavi and Vitor Roque. We did see Gavi encounter a very serious ACL injury. He was out for a total of 9 to 10 months, and because La Liga saw this, they say, hey, look, you guys lost a player for a very long time. No worries, you guys can bring in Vitor Roque, no problem, and register him in La Liga. So the same thing is going on between Christensen and Dani Olmo. Now it's going to be up to John Laporta and Deco to make sure that the 1-1 rule is complete at that time, and Barcelona is financially stable. So by the time we go into January, we can register both players officially for the rest of the 6 months, which in other words is the second half of the season. So now let's move on towards Chiesa. And it says here, according to Fabrizio Romano, he has claimed Federico Chiesa will wait for one more day to understand if Barcelona will be able to register him. Otherwise, he will start a evaluation for other options, which is Liverpool. He also claimed that Chiesa has given his go-ahead to join Liverpool, but simply right now, he is just waiting to hear whether Barcelona can put him in or not. And let me tell you guys, I have said this so many times, you guys can like cringe at this, call me corny or whatever, but just like Johan Cruyff did state, if you have second thoughts about joining our club, then you are no use for us. If you are thinking about whether joining Liverpool or FC Barcelona, then you might as well just go to Liverpool. We only want players that consider Barcelona as their #1 priority, and they only want to come to Barcelona and nothing more, right? That is why we have accepted Dani Olmo, and why we want Dani Olmo on the pitch is because Dani Olmo neglected and said no to all other options because he only wanted Barcelona. It's why we also love Jules Koundé so much, because 2 years ago, Koundé had offers from Chelsea, offers from like other clubs in the Premier League, and Koundé rejected every club besides Barcelona because he only wanted Barcelona. With Chiesa, I find it surprising that he wants to join Liverpool. Like, I don't know if he knows that Luis Diaz is there, but we'll see what happens. If he does see Liverpool as a good alternative for him, then I do wish him a lot of luck. I'm not saying that I do hate the player or like I'm disappointed in the player. It's just that, you know, we only want players that are only committed to FC Barcelona and nothing more. We'll see how this whole thing does evolve. But for Barcelona to lose on a winger like him, it is in some way a huge blow. But seeing how Barcelona have been playing as of late, with Rafinha showing a lot of good levels on the left wing, and with Dani Olmo also being included, do we need another left winger? Do we need another attacker? I'm starting to think that if Barcelona were to sign another player now after we have registered Dani Olmo, I think that the next player should be a center back. It should be Tah, the player that we talked about earlier in this video. After that, we'll see how Barcelona do maneuver. Now, you may question, hey Kevin, you don't think that this whole thing seems a little too nerve-wracking? Like, why is Barcelona barely making it on every operation? Like, why can't Barcelona just act like a serious club and sign players with ease? And why can't we go for a big signing? Now, here's the big news for today. Gigantes has claimed that Barcelona have sent the club's new contract draft with Nike to La Liga, right? Everything has been included and concluded between Nike and Barcelona. They know what they want to do. They know how they want to settle the next 10 years. And now they have submitted the offer to La Liga. And the only thing that is missing now is for La Liga to say, yes, this is fine. Let me tell you guys, if La Liga does approve this, it's going to be a huge boost for Barcelona financially. And I have no idea, because at the end of the day, I don't work for this club from the inside. I do not know the accounts. I do not know how the numbers do look like officially. Apparently, a lot of people on X or YouTube do, which is why they want to make ridiculous claims. But I do not know. But one thing is for sure, if Barcelona get injected 250 million euros up front within these next couple of hours, I know for a fact Joan Laporta is going to be moving hard for a player. I just don't know who it's going to be. And if you guys are wondering, why is it 250 million euros? Isn't that a lot of money? Well, yes, it is, because it has been reported that Nike want to inject Barcelona 90 million euros per year starting this summer for the next 10 years, and they want to include a sign-on bonus of 115 million euros. That does ultimately add up to 250 million euros. There has been like some other strange numbers about Nike wanting to inject a sign-on bonus of like 120, 125, 130 million euros. We don't know the exact number, but it is around that range, anywhere between 200 to 250 million euros up front for this summer. This has been a deal that we have been waiting for so long, because we know that this is the deal that is what's going to get Barcelona to a huge financial situation where they can move for big time players. It's just like I said before, I just don't know who that player could be. I have no idea. It could be like a world-class center back. It could be a world-class fullback. It could be a world-class midfielder. It could be a world-class striker, a world-class right winger, world-class left winger, world-class goalkeeper. We don't know. I have no idea. I can't really tell you. But whatever does happen in Barcelona within these next 24 to 48 hours, we are going to be talking about it here in this YouTube channel. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.